name is Idris Olubisi. I am a software engineer and a technical writer, and I currently work as a developer relations engineer at Mara, and also the founder of Web3 Africa, a community focused on building and also onboarding, supporting, and educating Web3 builders. This includes both technical and non-technical individuals, those that are interested to transition into Web3 as a designer, transition into Web3 as a cybersecurity individuals, transition into Web3 as a front-end developer, a back-end developer, or a full stack. So today we'll be talking about integrating stablecoins payment into your web applications. So first, we start with the evolution of web, how everything started, and also we kind of go through the era of Web 1, Web 2, and now Web 3. Then from there, we also proceed to talking about stablecoins, who are the issuer of stablecoins, how you can integrate stablecoins into your application as a developer. Most applications, basically, that allow people to interact or buy and sell on their platform, they do have like a payment gateway, and that payment gateway is facilitated by something. So in the Web2 space, you see the like of Flutterwave, you see Paystack, which are all Web2 companies that allow users to understand and also pay directly on the platform. So another thing we'll be talking about here is also the APIs that are available for you to integrate with within your application. So those APIs just makes life easier for you, and all they do is to just allow you to interact, create users wallets, and they are all stablecoins. So stablecoins in this case, we talk about USDC, USDT, and the likes. So the evolution of web, how did everything started from Web 1, where we have the read-only web. You know, people just want to visit the web, they want to read content, and we have some guys, from the back end as at that time, just powering or publishing content on the web. So it transitioned from the read-only to the Web 2.0 state, where we are currently right now. We have the likes of Instagram, Facebook, Google products, Gmail, and all of that. They are all classified as Web 2. And how did we come about the name Web 2, Web 1, Web 3, and all of that? Gavin Wood coined the word Web 3.0. And as at then, like initially when it was Web 1.0, nobody knew. Like they only know that this is web. They don't know if it's Web 1, Web 2, or Web 3.0. But as at the point where researchers, analysts, they came up with the whole idea of blockchain and also Web 3. That's where they coined the word Web 3.0. And the difference between the Web 1 and Web 2 is just Web 3.0 allow you to own anything you pushed on the network. So for example, now as a user, I can interact with platform, of course. In Web 2, I can interact, and that's even the reason why we have Web 2 in the first place. So I can interact with platform using Web 2, I can message people, I can chat, I can do all of those cool stuff. The same thing also exists in Web 3, but the only difference is that Web 3.0 is powered by the blockchain. So blockchain in this case, as you all know, see blockchain like a very good example of blockchain is see blockchain like a ledger where you store records, you store transaction, and the only different thing from the regular ledger is that blockchain is robust, blockchain is decentralized, blockchain is immutable. You can't update, edit, or modify whatsoever thing that have been integrated on the blockchain, or they pushed and deployed on the blockchain. That's the difference between an internet powered by the blockchain and the regular internet owned by a centralized server, like Google, like Facebook. All of that is owned by a centralized server. They can wake up tomorrow and tell you, hey, due to some reasons you have violated our rule, blah blah, we are kicking you out or suspending your account. That can never happen in a decentralized application, because at first you own whatever action you do on that platform, and nobody controls what you do. If an application is built and is powered by the blockchain, you have everything, you own everything on that platform, in as much as interacting with the blockchain. So now, what is Web3? I think I already explained what Web3 is, but to just, one of my favorite quotes here is the one by Nader Dabit, where he said Web3 is the stack of protocols that enable fully decentralized applications. And why did I choose like this particular quote or explanation of Web3 is because it's kind of different. It tells you what the protocols that Web3 uses and also the technology that Web3 uses. So if, as a developer, if you are like trying to do things in the Web3 space, you should also understand that the Web2 skills generally are so relevant in the Web3 space. So the only difference, like I mentioned earlier, is just that Web3 is powered by blockchain. And powered by blockchain in this case means that people can own things. So the protocol is talking about here is the regular or the traditional protocols that we know, which is the web protocols, HTTP, SSH, TCP, and all of that. They are all protocols of the web. But we are doing way more than just having a centralized storage that we do have in the regular Web 2 space. That's where we introduce like the blockchain system that comes that comes in with a native payment system and also a computing state. So another thing to note is that you see the native payment system that comes with blockchain helps you eliminate the process of having a third-party API. So you might have been familiar with like Paystack, Flutterwave, Stripe, and all of that. They are like the third-party APIs that are very popular, and you can easily integrate them within your applications. But in Web3, anything, if you are building a fully decentralized application or a decentralized application, you can easily leverage the inbuilt payment system that comes with blockchain by default. And all of these things put together are classified as like a blockchain entity in the Web3 space. So when they talk about Web3, they don't mean crypto. I've seen a lot of people complain that crypto, a lot of things happening to crypto, and that's even why we have stable coins to fix the volatility that comes with crypto, because they are quite different. And in the moment, I would also like explain what the stable coins are and the things that you can do with stable coin. So now, the third iteration of the internet, which is also regarded to as Web3, comes with a decentralization approach, which is different. It means that we have tons of server hosting the blockchain. So we have tons of nodes. So let me just say node. Let me use the correct word, node. And well, we can also see nodes at servers. So servers, these nodes, they are decentralized across the world. So they are interconnected like everywhere. We have like a lot of businesses that are open to host node and makes life easier for anyone that is willing to build and deploy on the blockchain. Another one is that it's robust because it's kind of encrypted with a cryptographic hashing. So you might be wondering, why is it immutable? Why is it that when you update or push something on the blockchain, you can't change it? It's because there are so many algorithms put in place. We have the crypto hashing algorithm. So from transaction A to transaction 3 million, they inherit from the parents. Say for example now, if you store anything on the chain and that particular record has like a cryptography hashing attached to that record that is being saved on the chain. So it means that the next record that will come into the chain would inherit from the parents. So for example now, if you try to manipulate or try to push in any record that does not have a parent, the system would reject it. So it means that you can't go back. If you try to push any data basically into the blockchain and the cryptography hashing try to trace it back, if there's any parent and couldn't find any parent at all to that particular hashing, it kicks it out from the network, which means that that particular transaction is either it's been modified or it's a false transaction. It sees it as a suspicious transaction and kicks out and that thing. And what comes after it is that whatsoever that is validating that transaction into the network also gets kicked out of the network and will never be able to validate any transaction on the network again. So we also have native payment, like I mentioned earlier. We have immutability. We have ownership of data. Anyone knows like Medium here? Have you used Medium before to write? What about mirror.xyz? So mirror.xyz is a great example for medium in Web3. So mirror.xyz gives you that ability to push your data directly on the chain, owning your content directly. It means that people can give to you money directly because you have like your blockchain address and all of that on chain. But in Medium now, you need to set up paywall, and Medium will charge like their own percentage and all of that. But if you push directly on Mirror, if you write any article and push it directly on the chain, users or anyone that reads the blog can easily just donate funds for you because your blockchain address is attached to that particular record and it's there forever in as much the network is up and running. So now, let's move to stablecoins. Since we already understand like the evolution of web, how everything started from Web 1 to Web 2 and also to Web 3. So stablecoins, what are stablecoins? Stablecoins are currency that are pegged to, they are coins, they are digital currency rather, that are pegged to a real world money. So in this case, we have example, we have USDC, we have USDT. So stable coins now, it doesn't have like a total cap. Yeah, so the total release on Ethereum, it has like a cap. For example, if you are creating your own coin, you can cap it that you have 3 million coins and you are not going to go beyond that. But the case of stable coins, it's always issued and pegged against a real world currency. So if you have one USDC equivalent to one stable coin. So that way you'll be able to control the flow, the market capitalization based on USD. And we know how strong USD is itself, and it's being used worldwide for commercial purposes and whatever thing also. Stable coins itself is also there to fix the volatility that comes with the native coins that you know. You know how volatile Ethereum is, or Bitcoin price goes up, down, like anytime it's not fixed. There are no ways you can't predefine like, okay, this is what will happen like next week, or this is what is going to happen tomorrow. So those are like kind of volatility that comes with like by default. Stable coins, there's nothing like that that would happen if you have your own stablecoin or you have stablecoin generally or integrate stablecoins into your application. So types of stablecoins. Number one, we have fiat-backed stablecoin. We have cryptocurrency-backed. We have commodity-backed. We have algorithmic-backed stablecoin. So the first one is fiat-backed. The example of fiat-backed currency, fiat-backed currency are those currency that are backed by real world. For example, here is USDC and USDT. So the difference between USDC and USDT is just USDC is being issued by Circle and another platform issues USDT. They are both stable coins. So another in the other category, which is cryptocurrency backed, we have a stable coin that is being backed by existing crypto. In that case, we have example like the BUSD that is backed because it's on Binance. So they kind of create a USDC and pegged it against the Binance coin itself. So the next one here is the commodity back. This you have like Theta. I don't know. Anyone heard about Theta? Or yeah. So it's kind of backed with a real world gold. Some of them it's backed by oil, by investment, or by gold. So that's another example or category in the stable coins like industrial era where you have these coins being backed by real world. So most of, like stable coins generally have use cases in the real world. So it means that it's not just digital. There are so many things that happen in the real world and that could influence how the coin itself operates, and which means that you can have total control over what happens to that particular coin. Then the last one there is the algorithmic. This is not pegged against anything. It's an algorithm that is being introduced to a system whenever there is probably high demand, low demand, or fluctuation, or you have some instability within your system. It's an algorithm that introduced to give you record, give you analysis, give you things to do to fix those things, and also some of the when you are thinking about like fixing what is happening within your system, these are the kind of algorithm that can be introduced into your system. So what are the things you can do with stable coins? now that we've mentioned what stablecoins are, so first you can trade with stablecoin. You can send funds globally with stablecoin. And also in the next few slides, I'll be sharing who uses stablecoin for you to know this is not just like what started yesterday. We've already gotten like a large number of adoption already. We have things like minimizing the volatility. We have saving assets, earning interest. So just the regular thing you can do with the digital cryptocurrency by transferring saving asset, earning interest, and still the same thing you can do with USDC because of course it's a digital currency and also it's available for you to save, to trade, and also to earn interest. So now we use this stablecoin. We have platforms, we have tons of platforms that uses stablecoin. And this we have the AMC Starter, which is also similar to like Netflix. So they are also another platform. They accept stablecoin. IBM also accept stablecoin. The checkout is a payment infrastructure system that also accepts stablecoins. So stablecoins in this case could be USDT, USDT, and all of that. So we have Stripe, we have Twitch, Twitter, we have JP Morgan, we have Coinbase, and also Microsoft. So it's way beyond this. I just pick like a few that I believe everyone can relate or understand um, when they see their logo or when I talk about them. So we have hundreds like different platform also that are already using stable coins. So it's because of course they can be able to trade with it or they can be able to save assets with it. They can also be able to transact and foresee what's going to happen and they are rest assured that it's not going to fluctuate like the regular coin that you know. So integrating stablecoins into the web applications, but in this case, we'll be talking about USDC. So USDC in this case, who are the issuers of USDC? We'll talk about it, how USDC is kind of different, and or what are the things you can get building with USDC. So Circle, Circle are the issuer of USDC. They are the one behind USDC. They are the brain behind USDC generally, and they are um, a financial technology company that is helping you to move money at internet speed through the power of USDC and Euro coin. I've mentioned USDC, 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 USDC. There's also Euro coin. So it's classified, it's called Euro coin regularly. It's just a currency pegged against the euro itself. So all of these things generally are under the umbrella of Circle. But what they do is they pegged it against a real world currency, like I mentioned earlier, which is the USD. So what does Circle provide? Circle give you a payment API that allow you to integrate payment system into your application. Circle also give you a payout API. So this payout API, so the payment API I was mentioning there is that they give you API that allow you to accept traditional payments. So if you are building a platform and you know that your users does not really understand like connecting their wallet and all of that, it's fine. You can integrate the API and they give you access to receive traditional payments via card, USD, USSD, or whatever form of payment. You receive it on your platform and you'll be able to initiate, but it's stored in form of USDC, and you also be able to initiate payouts using their payout API to any traditional payment system. So, for example, now you have all those funds as USDC, and now you like a user wants to request a payment to his or her bank account or a payment to anywhere. They give you that API that converts those funds to local currency, and you'll be able to initiate payout on behalf of users. So a good use case here is if you are building a platform, and for example, there's a way you are creating. Okay, you want to create a user's address. For example, you are building a platform that you want people without the internet to use, people that can access your platform with USSD. Those people, they don't understand blockchain. They don't want to understand blockchain. What they understand is their money, how their money would move, how they'll be able to withdraw, and also make payments. So, for example, if you are building an application for those kind of users, and you want it to be transparent and also to benefit what comes out of the box, building on the blockchain, you can easily dynamically create blockchain addresses for them using Circle API. As they sign up via USDC behind the code, like on your back end, you create a blockchain address for them. You create a wallet for them. So it means that any other thing they are doing on your platform, if they receive funds directly, you can easily inject it or withdraw it from a smart contract to those blockchain addresses. And now they want to withdraw, they want to initiate payouts, they want their money. How do you do it? You can also leverage the Circle API to just withdraw those funds on behalf of the users based on the user signatures and all of that. Directly, you know, the user is accessing it from a USSD. The user does not understand what is going behind the scene. But for your own purpose of building like a well-structured environment, users, you can easily or dynamically just get like initiate users initiate like a payout on behalf of the users from their blockchain address with Circle API. Remember that if you want to create the blockchain address for you without using Circle API, you go through the stress of handling private keys. Does anyone know what private keys are? Oh yeah, so you know how, you know, even if you are encrypting your private keys and saving it in database, still not secure. So it's always good to allow users to manage their keys themselves. So in this case that you have Circle API, Circle as an entity, they can help you manage those keys securely. So those keys are there for the user. You just initiate the blockchain address and those keys are being created. Behind the scene, you know nothing about it. But what they do is that, you know, if you have funds mismanagement or any of those things, you can have like one single source of truth, one person to sue if anything goes wrong. But if you now think of it that you want to start implementing or integrating your own, like creating users blockchain address dynamically on their behalf, and you want to manage their keys, what if somebody hacked your database? You know your database is not on chain, and you are putting yourself out there as a Web3 startup or a Web3 application, and they'll feel like, oh no, you have failed us because now your system got hacked and they now got to realize that you were saving those keys or their stuff on a traditional database that is very, very easy. No matter how secure you think it is, if it's not on chain, then it's not secure. Forget about the crypto thing they are talking about. That's not the blockchain I'm talking about here. The blockchain here is the core technology, not those products those people are building. Because at the end of the day, you realize that those people that got hacked or something, they have their money on a centralized place, and they kind of present themselves as a company in the Web3 space. So you can see what happened recently with the FTX and all of that. So those are like the things. But as a developer, you need to understand that the blockchain itself exists and the blockchain is real. The blockchain is decentralized. The blockchain is immutable. So if you are, it's either you are on chain or you are not on chain. There's no two ways. It's either you want to leverage the blockchain to build your application, save all your stuff on it, or you are off chain, you have like a centralized location where you are saving your money. So you can put yourself anyway, but the main thing is either you are on chain or you are off chain. So let's proceed. So the last one here is the account API. I think I've already mentioned it when I was trying to explain if you want to dynamically create users address. What you do, you have like a main wallet. For example, now if you go to circle.com or you go to docs.circle.com, you have access to their developers environment, and they give you their API key. So as a user or as a developer, you create a robust wallet. So from the wallet, if you initiate any API to create an account for users, it's kind of classified under the category of that particular wallet. But you are initiating an account for individual users, and every account has like a wallet, and every wallet has a blockchain attached to that particular wallet. So it means those APIs are also available to create. So you don't need to worry about how you want to create users accounts. If users sign up, how would the process, you know, be so seamless and also at the same time on chain, scalable and leveraging the stable coins. Those are the APIs that you can find under the account API when you use Circle. Okay, yeah. So I was supposed to show a demo here, but still, because of the time and connection, I'm not sure if I will be able to do that. But the demo is basically about um, integrating stablecoins into your application and how you can do that. So if you visit developers.circle.com, they have a platform. And one good thing about it is that they provide for all languages: React, JavaScript, Go, Java, any language you could, even mobile language like Flutter, Dart. They have like code snippets for you to use. And another good stuff they give you by default is for you to be able to test the API directly on their documentation. So if you have your key, there's a part where you just input your key, and when you input your key, the next thing you do is you just start testing the API from the documentation in there. So it means that you don't need to do anything locally before you test out how those things work. So you see like response parameters, you see what are the things you need to send to the API, what are the required fields the API is expecting, and also the response, what does the response looks like, and some of the things to expect. So the what makes like the documentation quite different from uh, the regular documentation that you might have seen is that the platform gives you, they kind of make it easy for you to test your application. So if you are like a developer like me, that I just like to test things before I even start anything locally, you can easily just test on the platform. Another thing I also want to note is that as somebody transitioning into Web 2 to Web 3, you need to understand that your Web 2 skills are so relevant in the Web 3 space. So if you, as a Web 2 developer, maybe you are a front end developer and you want to transition into the Web 3 space, what you should focus on more is how to sharpen your front end skills very well. Your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are so relevant in the Web3 space. So just make sure that you understand how to use those languages very well. And the next thing could be understanding the fundamentals of blockchain and how you can interact with the blockchain from your front end application. So we have popular applications like, popular packages like Ita.js, Web3.js, Morales API, Alchemy, and all of that. They they give you that ability to, they have a well structured documentation, and once you install the package, you can be able to interact with the blockchain directly from your application. So if you're also thinking how you could get like a contract address, so we have popular products like the board ape NFT, we have the basketball NFT, and all of that. You can easily Google their contract address, and that's the only thing you need from a contract. So you shouldn't focus more on learning programming language like Solidity, Rust, or the likes, because you can learn it. But if you're a front-end developer and you want to stick with your front end and you still want to transition into the Web3 space, it's better you just focus on sharpening your skills on all those front-end technologies, especially HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React for now. So when you focus on that, because at the end of the day, if you are building a Web3 decentralized application, you still need front end, and it's still the regular front end. But the only difference is that you are not connecting or getting APIs or interacting with a backend, a centralized database or something like that. What you are doing is you are interacting directly with the chain. But if you're a backend developer and you like to build, you like to code, you code in Python, Golang, Java, whatsoever, and you want to transition into the Web3 space, the best thing there is for you to pick up languages like Solidity or Rust programming language. This language, they have like tons of resources online already. So you don't need to stress yourself, just go through it, take your time, learn how to code it. You can become like a front end, a smart contract developer, or you become a blockchain developer. So the difference is that blockchain developer is just used generally, but if you want to be specific, they are protocols engineer. They are those people that work at the protocol level, not smart contracts. So if you want to become that kind of person, you can just pick up languages that are very useful for you to become, like Rust. It could be Rust. It could be Viper. It could be Solidity, and also you can be a full-time like smart contract developer. You build different projects for people. Be a full-time person. We don't work remotely and all of that. But if you are a full stack developer, you need to pick a niche if you want to transition into the Web3 space. So it's either you are front or back. So it's front in this case means that maybe because you're a full stack now, you understand front end, you understand back end. But if you're transitioning into the Web3 space, it's good for you. You can build full stack decentralized application. Don't doubt me. Like you can build full stack decentralized application, but always good to just focus on what are the things you can do in a long term basis and how can you excel properly, not just you jumping from one place to the other. So you can just pick a niche, maybe just focus on the blockchain part, be building smart contracts, testing it, auditing it, or you focus on the front end part, just interact with smart contracts, translate those designs by designers into front end codes and interact with the blockchain and all of that. But if you are coming from we have other fields like UI UX design, we have community management, we have dev advocates, and all of that. The existing skills still relevant from anywhere you're coming from, but the only thing or the only difference is that you have a new audience and you need to understand the space. How can you understand the space? You can do that by just joining communities around you, joining the Mara Academy, the Mara community, joining Web3 Africa, joining Women in DeFi. Those are the communities that you can easily relate with. You see people that are doing the same thing or something similar to what you are learning, and that way you can share ideas, be involved, learn how the space work. Don't just check the space. Um, when people are talking about crypto is high, crypto is low, the space is way more beyond just looking it from the trading aspect. Trading is just, or let me say NFT or coin is just like one aspect, like one out of 1,000 aspect for the Web3 space or what a blockchain can do. And that being said, thank you so much.